Okay. Very unplanned, but everything is going to be unplanned. In the worst trope in recorded media ever, I hope you're not watching this on December 31st. It's being recorded on December 31st at 9:09 p.m. after I spent probably 40 minutes waiting for this piece of technology to come online. And hopefully I fix that soon. Hopefully you're not watching this on December 31st and you're out doing something fun. If you are, then hey, thanks. And ultimately, what does that say about me? I'm sitting here recording this. But how do I invite more people into the space? I talk about things that are popular. What's a popular thing? Spotify Wrapped. I think I've had Spotify for 12 years, maybe longer. It sounds about right. Let's go. I think I found it. I waited until now to open it up, look at it. I don't know what any of this stuff is, but let's go for it. So if I do Spotify.com/wrapped. Hey, that's the thing. I'm not playing the audio for it, if there is any. Doesn't matter to me. I have to do it in the app. I did all of this for this reason, so I can do it on the computer and share everything and not do it in the app. Well, it's certainly upsetting. It's not how I wanted to do any of this. What happens if I do that? It's really just audio. Man. That's unfortunate. That's not how I wanted this to go. Is there a way around this? That's dumb. That's dumb. I don't like any of that. Well, guess I'll call an audible then. Since I'm recording this on my phone, I'm not going to open that up, but since I'm on my computer, it's running and working. Let's see what my top songs of the year are. Why not? See if there's anything interesting. And how long? How long is it? Damn! That's a lot of stuff. 100 songs. I guess I'd kind of skip around it. This video has to be substantially shorter than the other ones, and that's my intent. But what I like a lot is I'm going to talk about stuff that I've really enjoyed and kind of expose like what I listen to, I guess, which I'm fine with. That's cool. No issues, no worries there. So what's super cool is the first song that shows up is a song that is like 12 years old, I think. I think this came out in 2012. If it didn't come out in 2012, it came out in 2017. But it is the artist Through Pence and the song Chopped. I don't know a lot of Through Pence. I don't know the artist thoroughly. But this album I absolutely love. And I think it's one of the first ones in the discography of Through Pence. I also don't really know how to work the Spotify web app, so it's gonna take me a second to get to some things. But yeah, let's see all the albums for Through Pence. Yeah, so album is Serenade Promenade from 2013. Pretty sure. Yeah. I do like this entire album. It is like ambient music or lo-fi hip hop, which was the flavor of the time, but gets the atmosphere sort of things right. And when I talked in the very beginning about like general effect and atmosphere and how is the sound or how's the mix doing as far as effect and the listening's realm and whatnot. To me, although this is a very low energy album, it has very high general effect. And Chopped, by far, is one of my favorite ambient or lo-fi tracks ever. Introduction on the Roads is very understated. And the beat when it comes in, I think a lot of folks might find the section annoying, but when the beat does come in, like big reverberating snare, the compression is very tight. But there is this sort of ghost note or whining noise on the high end of it that I think some people listening will be their attention will be diverted there. They'll be overly distracted by that particular sound rather than listening to everything. But the pacing of it is just so cool. It's only 2 minutes long. It's nothing too crazy. The album is so good as far as just like feelings and atmosphere and space, and I love that. But cool to see Chopped end up there. I wouldn't have expected that, but that's good. Let me go back since I don't know how to do anything on the web app. Oh, I can't say that. Yeah, dummy. And then another one, an album that I again was just infatuated with was Ryan Beatty. I know there's a bunch of songs from this particular album, but the one that showed up next is Bright Red. I believe it's the first track off of Calico 2023 album. Originally found Ryan Beatty from what was it, his first album, Boy in Jeans, 2018. Haircut is just such a great vibe. Of course, the vocals show and whatnot, but all the different play and the build-up of the intro of that song is super effective to get you to the first vocals. That takes all of this build-up of like compressed organ in the background and lots of vocals, and then you have this sort of promenade of a drum part coming. Sounds, as far as tones, like it reminds me of symphonic instruments or orchestral instruments, very wide range of tones and things coming from them. And then when you get the first one and from the bass drum, and it's just Ryan's voice, it's such an effective moment because everything else drops out. And of course, he's a great vocalist. Bright Red is not first track. It's like right in the middle of the album. But a number of these songs, like, really like Bright Red. It's probably not my pick off of this album. I like Ribbons, Bruises Off the Peach as a nice, not a beat, but has a nice rhythm to the song and rhythm to how it's put together. So that's really cool. I definitely listen to Ryan Beatty a lot. That's like a springtime song and album. And here's like stuff that we're going to expect. 3, Rap Ferreira, Begonias. 5, Bending Corners, Rap Ferreira. 5, First Fist Make Contact When We Dap. Talking about the albums and sort of the recent work from Rap Ferreira, Light Emitting, Diamond Cutter Scriptures, and First Fist to Make Contact were not big favorites of mine. My personal feeling and style, I enjoy a little bit more upbeat stuff in that realm, or stuff that uses space a bit more effectively. So like Begonias was super cool for me to hear as the first single off this album because it hit us with sort of a classic boom bap cadence. Like it set the stage really well for Rap Ferreira and Prism to showcase their styles and go about that. And I really like that. Begonias, I definitely rocked a lot when it came out, because I had a feeling that the album would follow more of that recipe. I don't think that was the case. Not good or bad. But yeah, bang the crap out of Begonias. Bending Corners is another one that's just like This one played with timing and pacing, and I liked that it gave me sort of the detective in an alley type of vibe. The composition of the beat works really well. Just the bass notes, bump, 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 chime, really set that atmosphere. I kind of visualized like a cradle. It was a nice cradle to kind of put things in. And then you have, again, Rap Ferrero just kind of styling of everything. And I'm going to talk about a little bit here, so I'm keeping track of time. I feel like the best work from that artist is when he has the opportunity to just style over things. That's what creates the mystique and what is most interesting. Heim's on here, Forever. That's an older song again too, Forever. Sticks out to me with that one is the diction of the vocals. Very musically talented, very interesting musical ideas from a pop artist. But again, the play of chorus is high with a lot of cymbals and flair in the rhythm section to verses and bridges really showcasing the vocal talents and the lyrical talents. Forever's a jam. Here's one that's really strange. So found another sort of lo-fi ambient hip-hop beat maker, artist by the name of 18 Karat Affair. Very, very unknown. I know there's 2 tracks from this particular album that stuck out to me, but the one that showed up first is... Now I've clicked on the page, I don't remember. Return of the Shinobi. Return of the Shinobi. Hell yeah. Return of the Shinobi is sick. Again, what draws me to this sort of thing is space, or the idea of space and what you do with it. Album is Body Double, was released in 2022. Very, very long. Tracks are relatively short. Longest track I'm seeing is about 1:40. Well, no, Simulations of Insincerity, track 31, is 2 minutes long. Another one that I have saved, but what is making this one effective, what makes the tracks on Body Double and 18 Karat Affair effective is how they build on the atmosphere. It's liminal space music. It is liminal space music, but I enjoy that kind of thing. Bruises Off the Peach, Ryan Beatty, number 8, absolutely there. The Cough Bombers Return. Bob Sun, like what I'm going to talk about in a little bit. I feel like, again, the best work or the best dosing of like hip hop and rap is in mixtape form, and I feel like Bob Sun has that mixtape form. I'm gonna listen to Bob Sun for the rest of my life. Number 10, Too Far, Improvement Movement. Go to YouTube, search for Too Far, Improvement Movement. They do a live performance of it on the cliffs in California somewhere. Acoustic instruments, organ, bass, acoustic guitar, drum set, all 4 of them sing. Really funky, yacht rocky white dudes. Bass player's bald with a beard, and he sings, so you know they rock. Too Far is a great song. Slump's a great album from this year. Film doesn't stick out to me. Cinnamon Bread, Ryan Beatty. There's some more Bob Sun. Sunrise Again. Sunrise Again is Improvement Movement. Instead of My Room. So I went through a loop probably late spring into the summer where there were about 8 songs that I saved consecutively on my like list that I felt had a very strong stylistic transition between them, and Charlie Berg, Instead of My Room, is one of those. Sort of a 12/8 triplet feeling, very ska-esque. That can be rough because it's not up-tempo. It's not fast ska or chaotic ska. It has sort of a... trying to use good qualifiers. It has an islandy vibe to it from the guitars and the diction. So I'll call it ska. It is sort of... It's still pop music, but there's Andromeda, Ryan Beatty again, Diogenes on the Auction Block, one of my absolute favorite songs. From Bob Sun, and I think we froze. I think my machine has decided to rebel. which is unfortunate because I already put like 20 minutes into this. Life sucks and then you die. We move it. I was about to give up. On here as well, Holy Ghost, Borns. The Dopamine album is one of the greatest albums of the 2010s. There's maybe one song on there that I would say could not play on the radio. They're all super upbeat songs with the exception of like the emotion, but like it's incredibly good. That album does not receive as much acclaim as it should. Here's a cool one. So a song that I know I fell into that loop with. The band's called Shore Shore, relatively unknown. The song's called The Expert, which is not maybe one of my absolute favorite songs from Shore Shore, but it falls into the category of just being kind of weird, kind of off kilter. What if it's bad for me? Very regimented through the verses and things, with the intention of giving this very unsettling feeling of like, well, this is what the experts say are good, but what if it's bad for me? What if I'm getting sick? What about aspartame? All of these sort of playing on the world around us. Just a cool song composition. My favorite song for them is Warm Animal. Just funky, modern day rock music. Big fan of Shore Shore. Hunter, Ryan Beatty again, Red Guard Snipers. So something I want to get to down the line. I feel like I'm gonna beat this horse to death, but one of the greatest rap albums of the last decade, 2 decades, one of the most interesting projects has got to be 37 Gems. Bulging Envelope and all the features on Bulging Envelope showcasing the styles and the people that followed the group of Ruby Yacht. I really enjoyed. Like 37 Gems is a buffet of like, this is some of the best lyricism and artistic showcase and ethos that you ever find in rap. Incredible, absolutely incredible. We don't have enough of those types of things, but we really appreciate them if we did. So good. Mother Forgot by Torah. I got a weird string of Instagram advertisements for music, and Mother Forgot by Torah was one of them. And it's just a bunch of like what looks like really weird Western European folks like bobbing back and forth, but not to the beat of the music because they're too artsy for it. Mother Forgot's just it's a cool little vibe. The song doesn't say too much, doesn't have like a big impact or anything, but in particular the percussion, the way the drum set player is playing around this very open keyboard melody is really attractive to me. Ryan Beatty, Sips a Rip of Wine, Mr. Lies. Mr. Lies is a more popular producing outfit. I don't want to move you. I'm just clicking on you. Well, I thought they were popular. They only have 18,000 monthly listeners. Mr. Lies is good. Listen to Mr. Lies. But Pill is a very expansive, atmospheric song that I love. Something it's very traditional for me. I'm a huge slow-mo fan. And Rained the Whole Time in the early days of Shlomo. It just has a certain feeling to it. And I think that if it's a rainy spring day outside and you play Rained the Whole Time, it will completely equalize your mood. What I think Shlomo does so effectively is the contrast or the difference in the very rhythm-heavy sections with fast 30-second notes and sextuplets on the hi-hats and whatnot, and also separating it with very odd bleeps and bloops and very long synth passages. that the Vacation single, the 3 tracks that are on there, Rain the Whole Time, When Woo, and I don't remember the third one. When Woo's okay. When Woo's sort of off kiltery. It's in a very weird tempo space, which for me is what kind of throws it off. Very full though. I mean, it has a lot of things going on in the song for you to like. There are a lot of things going on in the song for you to attach to, whether it be rhythm, pacing, just a good head bob. When Woo's good for that. Should have grabbed my mouse. Well, I've learned. Oh, The Way You Do, of course, the one that kicks off the album. That whole little single for Vacation is, again, stellar music. Just really, really great music when you want to go someplace. White Teeth, High Rise in Newark. Probably my favorite off Bob's Son. The introduction is sick. Something that came out this year, Eulogy for Nobody, Debbie Dawson. I understand it's in Bollywood, but the essence of like the bluegrass or country of the 60s and 70s, the women in that era, that's what I feel from it and how I grew up and whatnot. But obviously knowing that her cultural background is different, and the ethos of that is different. Man, such a powerful song. Last night I wrote an eulogy. Here lies the girl that never let herself be free. The first time I heard the second verse, I know I was driving. I was driving down 279, getting into Pittsburgh from the north, and it was just out of body experience. Goosebumps, chills, tight chest. It was super, super powerful. If you can put yourself there, it's great. Dayglow, I like Dayglow. Don't want to talk about him. By the 1975, love that song. Will again forever. Rejoice. I know I talked about in my last video about Outstanding Understanding. Rejoice follows in the same line of an idea as a work of art in gravity and whatnot, and Rejoice is beautiful, especially when you get to the latter half of the second verse. Don't mention what you do for money, isn't that funny? Screw face, moot case, I never demean the self for definition. Hidden sense of what's hidden has kept me on this lonesome trail. God, it is so good when it's just boom and bap and just styling over it. Awesome. Galahad and Goosetown. IMO, most underappreciated Milo work. Budding Ornithologist. I feel like it was just, this is the last Milo album. I'm going to open the book and let it levitate, and everything is going to come out. There's so much in that album. It deserves going over. And of course, the thing too, personal note, I first heard Galahad in Goosetown at the opening of Soul Folks in Maine. And I remember at that time, Roy still had dreadlocks and whatnot, and as he started to perform it, he had turned to his right, my left, and was mainly just performing it at that wall over there, and there was food and things like that. But what stuck with me so hard is when he got to the chorus, if life is a dream of euphoria, there would not be schizophrenia and paranoia. He was just in this constant, banging my head against the wall, banging your head against the table. It wasn't like, we're not shaking nothing. It was just this persistent, bowing, or this persistent, it's just a dredge. But the imagery of that is something I will always attach to that song and what is going on in that song. So huge. Ryan Beatty, same album, Calico, About You, the 1975. Yeah. Listening, Bob's Son, Myth Building Exercise, On the Bus, Improvement with Slump, more 37 Gems, Bob's Son, Budding Ornithologist, more 1975. Ready for the World, How to Dress Well. Again, very expansive song. Almost starting just by dropping you into this atmosphere. There's not a lot of, there are vocals, I think, in terms of instrument, but not in terms of speaking matter. I like that. I like that, creating atmosphere with maybe words that you can't hear or understand, or you're not supposed to. And then right after the halfway mark, you get this really weird sort of an ear ringing effect, where everything sort of drops out and you have this, again, high whistling that sort of drowns everything out and then brings the both volumes, the lower volume of what's been drowned out and that ringing back together. Super effective. Love it. Bob's Son, Budding Ornithologist. On and Off, Maggie Rogers. Got stuck in that loop. Not specifically a big Maggie Rogers fan. Talented, blah, blah, blah. But it's the width of the harmonies and the chorus take me to that place, and how the rhythm and the beat is driving it home creates a really great space that I love. Mr. Susan Type Slapper, probably my favorite off of The First Fist. Rap for His verses are great. Being a Grime fan, and I've talked very briefly to Eldon about Grime. I love his flow. I love how he raps, and that's a 37 Gems thing I'd love to get back into. But showcased them both really well. Love it. Budding Ornithologist. Don't You Forget About Me. Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs. This song is very similar to... I'm so sorry. This song is very similar to Death's Dynamic Shroud. But the build in the first half takes a really long time. It's a very like sad boy 90s. This is just a 90s song for me. I picture this in like VHS graphics quality. But it's very slow and lamenting in the first half. And then we get to the actual verse with a beat. And like the 90s R&B funk and soul that comes out of this is gross. It's so inappropriate for the song and the artist name and everything. It's just so inappropriate. But when we get to, Tell Me You'll Always Remember, it has that 98 Degrees, Blackstreet type of thing going on. Love it. It's just some weird stuff. All about it. Lay Here, Copeland, For When I'm Sad. Bob's Son, Budding Ornithologist. Bus Driver, I'm From a Different Time. I got really into this one again because of the wonkiness of his rap. I don't love all of the words and vocals, but what draws me to Bus Driver is not just the verbosity, but again, the uniqueness of flow. I've always been a big fan of like Big Boy for that reason, even though he's more traditional. It's easy to say like, I've liked Busta Rhymes and Twista. I like people who say things fast, but it's not just about what you say fast or how fast you say things, but how you say things fast. So I'm From a Different Type Time, again, has this weird metronome to it, or this weird internal rhythm and tempo to it that I really, really, really enjoy. That's Electricity Is on Our Side. I guess I listened to Boredom a lot, which is Rex Orange County and Tyler the Creator. And it's definitely in the rhythm of Tyler the Creator that gets me attached to that. I'm more than halfway through the list, and you can kind of get the sense here. My top songs are like Budding Ornithologist, Bob's Son, First Fist, and 37 Gems. That's where I'm at. Something sneaks on the list here really great. Be Quiet and Drive, Far Away, Deftones. So good. You can't see this over here, but there's a large collection of PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games. Still have it still on PlayStation 2. Play it. Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX introduced me to that. Also introduced me to the first song I ever learned how to play on the guitar, which is What I Got by Sublime. I learned it at 12 years old. Had no idea what any of it meant. But it's just a strong song from a compositional standpoint to me. It doesn't speak to my emotions. It does sometimes. I get aggressive and pumped up when I hear it, but it's not. It's in the composition of the song, and I can identify that, which I think is exciting. If you're in a down mood, music is magic. Words are spells, and when you make the air vibrate in a specific way, you can make people feel things. When a song has the ability to make you feel things like that, take you from one mood to the other, and get you pumped up and your blood flowing, cool thing. City and Color, Unthinkable, I'm Ready. Just a pretty song. Just a pretty song. Good vocals. I like the stripped down nature of it. Allows you to kind of feel more. You can give more from a listening perspective to get into it, which I dig. Just Grew in Osaka, Tiptoe, Open Door, which is Improvement Movement. Open Door's great. Warm Water, Banks. The Goddess album is awesome. Oh, excuse me. How rude of me. The Goddess album is so good. Warm Water is great. First Fist, Budding Ornithologists, Improvement Movement. Dreams Tonight, but Always. That's from like the mid-10s and that old indie rock, independent pop style. Just like the feeling of it. It's good for me that it's good pacing. Again, vocals are more for me an instrument than a vessel of information or impression. So I'm fine there. Famous Cafes. 37 Gems is so good. So good. And then here at 83, we have Simulations of Insincerity, 18 Karat Affair, Body Double. She's American on 84. Man, I wish there was a 2-part harmony in the bridge of She's American because it's so good. Just so good. And George plays an awesome, very unique drum part, which is hype. 88, Places. Shlomo. We'll listen to that for the rest of my life. You can put on Places at any time, at any given moment, and it makes the whole situation better. One of the greatest songs ever. Face Like Thunder, Japanese House. Japanese House, the couple different LPs that came out around that time, all excellent music. House Song by C Rose. I do really enjoy House Song. It's a space thing. It's an atmosphere thing. Is C Rose even popular? It has like 1.5 million. House Song is the most popular one, so I'm sort of normie in that realm of respect, and that's fine. And then we've got a Kiss, the Driver Era, just a vibe. Here's an experiment for you. Play a Kiss by the Driver Era and Blinding Lights by The Weeknd side by side. They're the same song, and it's sick. It's totally unnecessary, but it's sick. And for anyone who is good at mixing songs together, there's your recipe. Awesome. The Giver, Zach Ezzy, not The Giver. Zach Ezzy has just under 8,000 monthly listeners. Go listen to Giver. What a vibe. I don't need to ask for much. I always seem to fall behind. And then the introduction to the beat, like all that space and the double bass kick. And then the second verse when he goes up, rather than singing low and kind of being mopey. So if there's only room for one in your life, man, so good. So good. Go listen to Giver by Zach Ezzy. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. Stenographer Club. One of my favorite songs off 37 Gems. Stenographer Club is a song for Pink Navel, Devon Music. Showcases, in my opinion, all of the great things that the artist has to offer. I do want to do How to Capture Playful. I was talking with Gray Sweats on Instagram when I posted. It was actually Brandon who did the cover art and things for it. I have the vinyl, I have the gold tape, the N64, the Super Nintendo cassette. Definitely want to do that. Dev and Kenny Siegel. Sick. Stenographer Club is awesome. Always like this Bombay Bicycle Club. That's again, early 10 stuff. Same, and what attracts me to that song is it is the same drum pattern as Chameleon by Maynard Ferguson. If you've never heard Chameleon by Maynard Ferguson, go listen to some good fucking jazz. Awesome. Such good stuff. And then, yeah, to finish it off is First Fist, 37 Gems, and After Image by Hate Drugs. It was just in that loop with Charlie Berg and everything, which is cool. It was a good like jam. That Holy Ghost on and off kind of got stuck in my springtime loop, which I can identify that. So maybe if I saw my Wrapped, I wouldn't be so upset. At this point, the video's been like 40 minutes, so I guess I'm not going to talk about Over the Carnage. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But that's like my top songs of 2024. So if you want to know what I listened to, or what I listened to this past year, it was a lot of recent works from Rory Ferreira. Again, budding ornithologist, so underrated, being the outgoing Milo album, the series finale, if you will. 37 Gems I will rock with forever. So much talent, so much rapping, so many different styles. And that lends, so the point I wanted to make with the Over the Carnage thing, that I'm going to make with 37 Gems, I'm going to make also with Bob's Son, is, like, more rap artists, more hip-hop artists should make things in mixtape style. Having recently, over the last few days, after, again, talking with Gray Sweats about Over the Carnage, I've gone through and listened to Over the Carnage probably 15 times. And we were talking about Too Much of Life is Mood and that Scallops Hotel trilogy. And, like, Too Much of Life is Mood is just like you pop it in and you play and you don't stop. There are, like, track breaks to it, but, like, it's a mixtape. And Over the Carnage is a mixtape. There's breaks. And, again, Randall Bravery is controlling the deck, hosted by Randall Bravery. More artists should do that. And I was thinking of this earlier. I don't know if it's a hot take or if it's a take at all, but like that is how do I make a hot take without sounding wildly irresponsible and dumb? I would say it's like a necessity. Like if you are a hip hop artist or a rapper, or you operate within that realm of spoken word over music, you have to make a mixtape. It's a necessity, a rite of passage. It is like, I have done that thing. I can check that off the list of my objectives. Like, I think it's a strong artistic statement. I think it speaks to long-term thought and ideas and composition. I think it's valuable. I think it's super valuable. And like that's the point. So I'll get to that point later. But I've already talked for I think 40 minutes. That's more than enough. I'll get to the other stuff later. For the first time in 3 videos, thank you for spending the time here listening to me ramble. Hopefully I'm getting better. Hopefully I'm not. It doesn't really matter. This is more for me than it is for you. I hope that you are safely bidding farewell to the 4 at the end of your calendar, and you are safely replacing it with a 5. Celebrate if that is what you do. I think that delineations of numbers in this way don't reflect anything important. If you think you will be a better person tomorrow, good job, buddy. I believe in you. Ultimately, whenever I come back, we'll talk about more things. I think this is taking a big veer away from what I initially intended, and that's fine. That is fine as long as I keep doing them. Be safe, take care, love your neighbors, and we'll do this again sometime.